Hi, and welcome to the Q&A of Portal's Singularity Collapse, the first one, that is. I'm Endrick, and I'm the lead developer of Project Collapse Studios. Today, in this video, we're going to answer your questions. I'll let the other team members that are with me today introduce themselves.
Heyo, my name is Trico Everfire, and I'm a modeler and tools programmer for PSC. I work on VTF Forge, a VTF creation tool, as well as Portal Singularity Collapse's authoring tools.
What's up, it's me, Henry. I design maps for Portal Singularity Collapse.
Hello, I'm Crash, and I'm the writer and the voice actor for Portal Singularity Collapse.
Hi, my name is Hazel, and I'm a modeler for Singularity Collapse. I have 4 years modeling experience and about a year of texture making experience. I also, as of recording this, have about 8 months programming experience in the Godot engine, because I'm a nerd.
Before we start, I've wanted to mention we've changed the phrasing of some questions for them to be grammatically correct. We're sorry in advance if the rephrased question does not represent the original question enough, that it changed the meaning. What makes your mod different from others? From my perspective, I'd say a lot, but I cannot spoil much. We try to have original concepts, as mentioned. Of course, we are inspired by other projects, mods, and maps, but at the end of the day, it's our own interpretation, and I think that's what is extremely cool about making a project like this. As an example, I think we can reveal that, we have a human antagonist. This has not been done previously, mainly because of the limitations of the Portal 2 engine, but as we're running on P2C, this is not a technical limitation anymore.
Well, as mentioned, the style of the mod is very unique and beautiful, something that I haven't really seen other games, projects, or mods. Another point is, of course, the new testing element, which makes interesting and at points difficult puzzles.
Well, I would say it's the story elements of the mod and characters with deeper psychological structures that are feeling like actual humans. But I would also say that the visual concepts I've had in mind will make our mod more special compared to other projects, and definitely more original.
Every mod based on Portal 2 tries to stick to that foundation, its characters, plotlines, and structure. The mods released to date didn't innovate on what you can do with a story. We tried to think outside the box, and then hit that box with a sledgehammer to prove a point.
As the others mentioned, the story and visuals make this project stand out, especially as Endrick said, the human antagonist. I think we'll really be cooking up something awesome for y'all here.
How much time do the developers spend on the mod? I'd say it varies greatly. All of us have private lives, and since we are a volunteer-only project, the time we can dedicate for PSC is smaller than if it was a full-time job. Some of us do something pretty much every day, like me. Others dedicate some time weekly. It's very hard to give an exact number as it fluctuates greatly.
I myself try to spend at least an hour or two a week, but considering there isn't always work for me to do, I won't spend a lot of time on it, but may provide ideas in the developer chats. When I do have free time, like on vacation and where tasks waiting for me, I'll be quite active in the developer server and will often post progress on my work.
A lot of my time is divided up haphazardly between a couple of projects, this mod, and having a full-time job. I put as much time as possible into this mod, as in whenever there's something to do.
Well, as already said, in specific it depends on the role, the workload, and of course the personal situation in life.
I don't have hours. I'm asked when I'm needed, and I work as much until the task is done.
Are the developers getting paid?
Unfortunately no one is getting paid as the project is strictly volunteer.
That practically sums up this question. Will the puzzles be very difficult, or the same difficulty as in Portal 2? We are trying to keep the difficulty a bit higher than in Portal 2, but that might be a very personal view. Generally speaking, our difficulty curve starts somewhere at the end of Portal 2 and continues from there. but we also pay attention to introducing new elements to the player so that we don't end up with a steep difficulty curve. How many maps and chapters will be in the mod?
I don't think we can exactly answer this question as of now. Singularity Collapse is changing as every project in development is. So far there are about 6 chapters planned, but there could be more throughout the development. As for maps, well, I just cannot say right now. Currently every chapter has about 4 to 5 maps, but the specific amount of maps per chapter may change, because as I've said, Singularity Collapse is still evolving heavily.
How did you guys come up with the whole idea for the mod? Well, it was me who came up with the whole idea of a black hole in aperture science. I was and still am extremely interested in cosmos and modern physics. Black holes are one of a few things that no one can fully explain. They are some sort of a mysterious object that no one really knows much about. Hence, I thought it would be cool to make a Portal 2 mod about it. Well, Aperture already had some crazy technologies, right? The core of the concept remained till this day, while the outer shell of it has changed and evolved a lot. Rest of the developers found this as a very interesting project to work on, I'd say, and that's how PSC was created. Do the developers of PSC work on other projects?
Yeah, a little mod called Portal Ghost Stories, a Portal 2 mod in its own right, where you traverse the depth of old Aperture to escape the vicinity.
I believe I mentioned it earlier in the question regarding how much time I put into this mod. I'm working on a few other things. I'm the lead dev of one mod, sole dev of another mod, and I'm working on a factory automation game by myself inspired by several things. Not much to show for a few of these things, sadly.
Yes, it's best to keep your mind fresh when working on something. You cannot really force yourself to keep working on one thing only, that leads to extreme burnouts. Some of our developers work on other Portal 2 mods, some of us do hobbyist programming, some of us draw, and so on.
Well, I used to work on several mods before, such as Filter Factor and Portal Fallout, and many others that I cannot even remember. I was also the lead developer on the team creating the mod called Shaft of 6, but unfortunately that project got abandoned. However, I still tried to implement some ideas and concepts I came up with for Shaft of 6 into Singularity Collapse.
As already mentioned by Derek, most of the devs work on other projects, whether they are Portal related or not. I, for example, also have worked and still work on a few other Portal mods. Also, I do writing or sometimes build Minecraft in my free time.
Why Stratosaurus? Well, there are multiple reasons. One giant advantage is stable hammer, the tool used to create levels. Portal 2's version of hammer is extremely unstable on modern systems, crashing a lot. As a mapper or level designer, you tend to spend a lot of time using this tool, and so while seemingly only a crash happens once or twice, for us it's just extremely inconvenient and unbearable at times. Other reasons are engine improvements, various other fixes. One example might be improvements to how long VRAD takes to compile lighting in maps. In Source, when you create a level, so-called map, you need to compile it. What that means is that you run it through a bunch of programs that actually build a proper file readable by the engine. For large maps, it takes hours for a single compile. It wasn't a problem for Valve, as they've had powerful workstations and server farms that can shorten this time to just a few minutes or even seconds. Of course, we just don't have access to that. In general, Stratosaurus is just easier to develop a project on. Will you include any sort of references to other popular mods in the story? For example, Mel, Revolution?
Well, at the moment there are no references to other mods planned story-wise. In mapping there can be some here and there that I probably don't know of at the moment, but there might be some little ones here and there in the story, but nothing major is planned currently.
Well, we cannot really give a definite answer to this question, but this topic was discussed previously on various occasions. If there is a chance to make an Easter egg of sorts, like referencing other projects, we will consider adding it into the game. As mentioned by Crash though, so far we don't have any references right now. Will there be any way to support the developers?
Go fight that call!
After the release, yes, but not right now. I think accepting money while this project is still unreleased is unfair to the community. How much of the mod is currently completed? As I've mentioned before in question 5, it's hard to tell. The project is being actively developed and worked on, but what will the future hold? No one knows for sure.
Well, this question is quite a difficult one to answer, as there are many factors to include into it. I, as one of the main mappers, can say that the progress with maps is quite great. So far we completed a good portion of the maps that are confirmed to be in the mod. However, we still plan on adding more maps and chapters, so obviously this answer might not be very true.
Yeah, with how much is still in development and with how much is being reworked to fit new standards or changes, it's basically impossible to put a number to it.
Looking at the story, it is currently still in heavy development. All concepts are being reworked and optimized. There's still quite a lot to do. We already have concepts for the ending and in the general layout of the mod done, but we still have to finalize these things.
How many chapters are planned for now? Please refer to question 5. Will there be any localizations in other languages besides English and Polish? If so, will you look for other translators before or after release? Yes, we're planning on other localizations. English and Polish are the definite ones, hence why they appear on the Steam store page. We will be trying to translate the game to other languages before the release, but this decision is not final.
Before release, those on the team who choose to will be able to localize the mod, because we cannot curate any languages we cannot speak or read. Languages not spoken by our team won't be available on launch, as we want to focus on delivering the mod first.
Will there be any Easter eggs? I'd say that yes, definitely.
Yeah, Easter eggs for some of our favorite games, other mods, or known people will be in the mod. I already tried to put some references into my maps, such as recognizable objects or drawings on walls.
Maybe.
Where did you get the ideas for the new testing elements? Have you ever had an idea that didn't work out?
There have been numerous ideas throughout the development of the mod that didn't work out. These are mainly ideas for locations the player would visit. I guess we could use the dam and the train tunnels from the early gameplay videos as an example. But there have also been ideas for some characters that never made it into the current version of the story. That doesn't necessarily mean these ideas will be forgotten, as we may still reuse them for another time. I know the answer may not be exactly related to the question, as it was more about the testing elements, but I feel like it was worth mentioning.
We mostly just brainstorm and try to think of something interesting that would fit the general feel of our project. And yes, there were a lot of scrapped concepts for different elements. We're also trying to make our puzzle elements to be easily used with each other in puzzles, making an original experience for our players.
Well, both mods feature black holes.
If you could describe the development so far in one word, what would it be? I'd say experience. It's a very long and sometimes exhausting process, but it leaves you with a lot of experience in various fields. From collaborating with others to advanced level design, modeling, you name it. The most important thing is to just have fun with others. And make a ton of unnecessary references to some particular Twitch streamer that loves Wendy's in the dev chats.
I would say motivation or memes. Both are linked to keeping development fun and exciting. A good spirit is just as important.
Roller coaster. It's been a ride so far with ups and downs and occasional loops, but at the end of the day, it's pretty dang fun.
My answer would be fun, because it's very fun working on something that you're passionate about and get on well with the other people that you're working with.
It's both quite a formal experience, but with lots of jokes, memes, and generally just very funny moments in it. It is not monotone, which is what makes being on this team and developing this project so much more interesting. In the end, I would say the one word to describe the development is silly.
Singularity collapse. Isn't singularity just a point? If so, how can it collapse?
When the singularity collapses,
Singularity, when it comes to black holes, is a term that is used to describe a point, the center of the black hole, that has infinite density, but if it actually exists remains uncertain. In this case, you can treat the singularity as the whole black hole. I think that should clear up the confusion. When have you guys started the development of PSC? That would be the date of the creation of the PSC's Discord server, 12th of June 2021. To be fair, the exact date is unknown, as I've worked on PSC alone sometime before the server was created. The server creation date is where other people decided to help me out with the project.
Wait, I work here? I've been stuck in the basement since birth, working on this mod.
How's the development been this year? Lots of changes, lots of improvements, lots of new stuff being done. Generally, I'm satisfied with how things are going. Every year there's something new, and every year the project looks more and more amazing.
This year, many aesthetic maps and concepts have come to fruition. Great soundtracks were composed, interesting and unique story elements were written, and so much more. Almost every month we manage to create something we're all amazed with, no matter how minor or major it is.
I would say like a wave. Ups and downs. But overall the mod has been going forward.
I totally agree with everyone. In every aspect of the mod's development, a lot of progress has been made, an amazing concept, and even finished maps, models, music, etc. have been completed. It's astonishing how much has been done.
What new testing elements will there be, and will any elements not be used? Currently revealed are the supercharged laser and the laser denial field. While we have talked about the SC laser a lot, the laser denial field hasn't been mentioned outside of some appearances in our previous iterations of our mod description, but it's still in the mod. The SC laser is just the main attraction, as I would call it. For the sake of explanation, the laser denial field is a custom type of a field that blocks any lasers passing by. Additionally, when an ST laser shoots into it, it downgrades it to a regular red laser. The list doesn't end there, as we have other elements in the works. We just cannot reveal them as of now. How connected will this be to the broader Valve universe, or is it more of a self-contained mod?
As a fan-made game for Portal 2, our mod still takes place in Aperture, and references to the story of the original game, of course. But we try to be more self-contained. We do touch Portal 2's story here and there, but the core concept of our tale is definitely self-contained.
As a mechanical madness enjoyer, how will the portal gun look?
As a fellow mechanical madness enjoyer, it's gonna look very good. No peaks for now.
I must say it's looking amazing. I've wanted the model since the first finished concept was shown.
Very puggers.
For me, I don't think I can exactly describe our portal gun concept over words. However, what I can say is that we have the concept of it ready, and the actual model is in the works. How much time it will take to finish it, we cannot say for sure, as it's an extremely complicated model compared to the rest. How long can we expect the campaign to be?
Well, probably around the same length as Portal 2, but I don't have a definitive answer yet.
In terms of maps, please refer to question 5. Time-wise, we're aiming for about the same length as Portal 2. Cannot say much as the answer will be more clear when we are closer to release. Is the mod open to the public? Can I playtest? We get this question a lot, unfortunately not yet. The only people that have access to the mod are the ones developing it. We are not accepting playtesters right now, but we definitely will in the future, so stay tuned to not miss out. When was the idea of the mod conceived, and how long has it been in development for? Please refer to questions 6 and 19. Were you inspired by other mods?
I personally have taken most of my inspiration from Desolation and Repercussions. but also the cancel mod I used to develop, Chef 26, from which I reused some of my ideas and concepts, as I've mentioned before.
Actually, yes, a very heavy inspiration for us came from Repercussions, a scrapped project by one of the co-authors of Portal Stories Mal. PSC grew to be something else, but the inspiration is still there. I'd say that Repercussions was a jump starter to many different projects, such a shame that it was put on indefinite hiatus. Do you know the approximate release date? Unfortunately, no. Our project has been in development for 3 years, but there's still a very long journey ahead of us. Giving an example release date right now would be more of a wild guess than an actual close to reality answer. And that sums it up. We'd like to thank you for your interest in this project, as seeing your reactions to our showcases really sparks up our motivation. Thank you, and see you again next time.
Bye bye!
And I hope you all have a fine day.